Hey, what's up, guys? It's SirTagCR and Sarah back again with the top 5 best decks in Clash Royale right now. We're doing something a little bit different on the channel today, so if you guys enjoy it, make sure to let me know by saucing out a fat thumbs up on the video. And if you guys are new here, consider subscribing for more content just like this. And a huge shout out to all of you guys using creator code SirTag to make this video possible. We've been able to upgrade our setup, our editing, everything is getting better thanks to you guys. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to keep growing the channel. So let's go jump right into the action and show you guys the top 5 best decks in Clash Royale right now. One of the best decks in Clash Royale always has to be Golem Clone. As soon as your opponent makes one misplay, they get 3 crowned, the game is over, and they'll be a very sad panda. So you can start a Golem in the back, go in for a Night Witch, and then still have Elixir for a proper defense with a Skeleton army. If your opponent ever zaps, or logs, or snowballs, or drops any spell, then they're gonna probably lose their tower to the Skeleton Barrel Clone with the Golem. This deck is exceptionally good because you also have the E-Barbs or the Baby Dragon, so if your opponent's gonna Fireball or Poison, you don't always have to drop a bait card that will immediately die to that. So let's go jump straight in some games and show you guys why this is one of the best decks in Clash Royale. Jumping into this game, let's see what our starting hand is. Hey, let's go. The best play possible. Going in for Golem in the back, having no fears whatsoever, and if your opponent ever feels like they can spam opposite lane, I can't wait. Can't wait to show him what's good. So he's gonna decide to go for Archers, Ice Spirit. You already know. We're gonna 3 crown you, dude. I love this deck so much because I can just go for a Golem, opposite lane, not care at all. I know for a fact that he's gonna probably overcommit on defense here. I can go in for E-Barbs. He's gonna lose everything that he holds dear in life because he has to defend against the E-Barbs, he has to defend against the Night Witch, and it's just not possible. It's all too much, guys. You ignore everything, you go in for your Golems opposite lane, and you're like, game over, GG, bro. This is how the deck works. I can go for a Skeleton army in the middle because you just went in for your log. Oh, it's painful. This is why it's just not fair. This is why it's not fair. That game was literally 45 seconds. I can't believe that. If you don't know, now you know. You probably should pick up Golem Clone today because it is unbelievably strong. Without a doubt, this Electro Giant Lightning deck is the number 4 best deck in Clash Royale. All you have to do is get to double Elixir, which is really easy to do when you have Goblin Cage, Tornado, and a Ice Wizard. So when you get to double Elixir, you go and drop your Electro Giant in the back, you make a Dark Prince plus Baby Dragon push. If your opponent drops any bait cards or squishy cards, you go and Tornado them right into your splash damage and eliminate them instantaneously. If they go for a Magic Archer or a Musketeer outside of the range, you Tornado it, it's gone in an instant. If they drop any building, you Lightning, you destroy it, your Electro Giant locks onto their tower and they lose the game. There's really no way to defend this as the game gets to double or triple Elixir. So let's go jump straight into some games and show you guys why it's one of the best decks in Clash Royale. All right, guys, we got a game against the Certified Savage. It's even in his name. We have the best defensive sequence and we will strive to survive until double Elixir. If you guys already listened to me early on, I told you we needed Ice Wizard, Goblin Brawler, and the Tornado. That's all we had to have in our starting hand, and there's really no way for him to break through. He's gonna log and he's gonna have bats, so maybe he's gonna have a fast cycle with Wallbreakers, and I would love to activate King Tower here, but no. What are you running, Savage? If I can't predict you, you really are living up to the name. So I want to still survive until double, so I'm going to go for a Goblin Cage if he Hog Riders, and that is exactly what he's going to do. He's going to have Hog Rider Mini P.E.K.K.A most likely. I can activate King Tower here with the Tornado, so let's go and do that. Get that Hog Rider where it's supposed to be, on my King Tower. Activating King Tower early on is really good for us because we are just trying to survive until double. We're not trying to get any damage. All we want to do is defend, and if we get ourselves in an even better situation than we were in before, that's kind of the best spot we could be. So I'm going to go in for a Dark Prince if he goes in for a spam with the Dark Prince counter against a Mini P.E.K.K.A, a Hog Rider, no matter what it is, we got that on lock. So I'm going to go for a Dark Prince in the lane that he already has damage. And if he goes in the right-hand side, well, we can go and counter it. Oh, is he going to go for a Hog Rider? Let's go! Look at that lightning sauce, guys. Striking down the Hog Rider, the Princess, and the Ice Golem. That's some superb lightning value if I've ever seen it. He loses his bats. He goes in for a log. That's 4 for 4 against the Dark Prince too. So we're just trying to trade evenly here, guys. And if we get to double Elixir, it is not an even matchup. So we're going to go in for our Ice Wizard in the back left, and we'll see what's good. We'll see what's going to happen. I don't know, guys. I feel like this guy is probably going to end up going in for a Mini P.E.K.K.A Hog Rider push when he's given the chance. So we are just going to stay tuned for his spam. So Bar Barrel cleans up the princess, only one hit on our tower. If you time it perfectly and you are fast fingers like a mobile gaming athlete, you will not take any damage. We're going to go for another Goblin Cage just to go and pull, and I think the bats are going to give us some issues, so I'd have to go and Tornado those. I hate doing that because we countered the Hog Rider with absolutely no hits, but you know what? We had to go for the Tornado because this guy played well. So if he goes in for a mini pack, I'll go for a Lightning. I don't think he's going to, though, so I'm just going to go for an Ice Wizard in the back, and he goes in for another Hog Rider. Very well played. This guy is actually such a good player, and when you play against good players, they will test your limits, but if you play well with this deck, it doesn't even matter. The Electro Giant, it powers up your brain with its electricity, and you don't have to think anymore, guys. It's one of those no-brain tactics, guys. No skill needed here, if you will. So I can Electro Giant when I want to, but I rather just more so defend than anything. If we can get a successful Tornado with an Ice Wizard and a Goblin Cage, as you guys can see, anything that our opponent throws at us will be defended successfully. One Hog Rider hit, maybe? Yeah, you barely got one there. And you used your mini P.E.K.K.A. So this is the push that allows us to seal his fate. If you don't know, now you know. I love Electro Giant. You just have to wait for the appropriate time to drop it, because it's a really heavy elixir cost card, right? You don't willy-nilly sauce out a 8 elixir investment. So we're going to go in for a Lightning when we are given the opportunity to, or we can actually just Bar Barrel. He's going to Lightning. No, he's going to Rocket instead. So he doesn't have Lightning with this deck. Usually they run Lightning, but this guy is going to have a Electro Giant counter with Rocket and mini P.E.K.K.A. as his main fuel for his defense. So we're going to go for another Electro Giant in the back. We're going to gear up for a quality push again. And yet again, he's going to go for the mini P.E.K.K.A. We're not going to give him as much value as we did before because I thought he had Lightning, but Rocket is a little bit more fearsome. So I'm going to go for a Baby Dragon here. We'll see what he decides to do. It's all spaced out really delicately for me, and he's going to go for a Rocket. He's only going to hit a Dark Prince and Electro Giant, so that's not too good for him. And I think what we do here is we're going to have the Baby Dragon kill both the princesses. We go in for another Electro Giant, and we Tornado everything into us. So that princess is going to go gone. She's going to go night-night, and we will not see her again for a while. All we need to do is pull her into our spam. So you're going to go into the right-hand lane. We are going to get the damage with the Electro Giant, and we are back in business. Also, if you guys don't know, the Electro Giant slows everything down so you get even more value. What if he rockets that? He is going to rocket it. Oh my gosh. This guy's fury is absolutely insane. He is so aggressive with his plays. All we gotta do is go in for a proper Tornado, make sure that the Hog Rider doesn't get a single hit. We follow up with the Lightning on top of the mini P.E.K.K.A. And that means that the Electro Giant will probably seal this man's fate if it just gets one hit. It does get that hit. That's what I'm talking about. This guy's actually really good. As I said before, we need to play properly to win, but if we do, we will walk away with a W. There's no doubt about it. So we have a lot of spam coming at him. With 20 seconds remaining, there is no way for him to stop this Electro Giant, and this is Sparta. All we have to do is one more proper Tornado, and we will hit it here, and we will seal his fate. No Hog Rider hits, and that's all you gotta do, guys. Make sure you play off clean with those Tornadoes, and you win games. If you master that placement, you will win every single time against Hog Rider because they can't break through Goblin Cage, plus Tornado. It's just not possible. The third best deck in Clash Royale has to be this Royal Recruits Royal Hogs deck. It is overpowered in double elixir. All you have to do is go for Royal Recruits in the back, slow roll a push, go in for a Flying Machine in the middle to break through any defensive structure, or go off into the side if you want to sneak past, and then you go for Royal Hogs in a lane that your opponent overcommits to. They're always going to respond to one side more than the other when you drop Royal Recruits. You go to the opposite lane, and you're almost guaranteed tower damage with Royal Hogs in that side. Let's go jump straight some games and assert some dominance, because this deck is basically unstoppable. All right, guys, we got a game here where to sauce out of good luck, and the theme of this deck is always cycling something. You can go for Zappies, you can go for Royal Recruits, you can go for Royal Hogs. All of your stuff splits, and you can't actually get punished for it. So that's one of the best things to do with this deck. Gonna go for a Royal Hogs because we're up elixir. He went in for a Princess and a Goblin Gang. That means he's down a lot, and he's probably not going to have elixir for the Inferno Tower. So he's going to go and try to piece together a proper defense. He goes in for a Log, Knight, and Ice Spirit. So that's a ton of elixir, but not in the succession that he wants. He wished he could have just went for Inferno Tower, but it just wasn't possible. So we can Fireball on top of the Princess as well. So then the Royal Recruits are still going to demand elixir. So if the Princess locks on, it does a lot of splash damage, but you can easily circumvent that situation by fireballing and getting it out of the way. Yet again, guys, I want to go for my Fly Machine. If we can, that's the ideal situation because it's really difficult for him to deal with. So Fly Machine damages it all down from a distance, and we force out more elixir. And if you hit the Barb Barrel on top of all the goblins, you are vibing. If they do sneak past and let one goblin connect, it's not the end of the world, but it's not something that's desirable.
His target is far away.
So I don't have my Fireball because he has a faster cycle than me, but he constantly has to spend more elixir. That Fly Machine, dude, it was only 4 elixir, and it was in the back, forcing you to spam stuff on the left. You did not want to go for your Goblin Barrel there. So at this point, we're in a really good spot. I can go for Rare Recruits if I want to. I can go for a Goblin Cage. When we hit double elixir, that is when our deck destroys, though. Just like the Electro Giant deck, every single time, this deck gets infinitely better in double elixir. So when we get double elixir, we go for our Royal Recruits in the back, we wait for our opponent to overcommit on one side, and then we spam in with the full fury of the Rail Hogs and Royal Recruits, guys. They're royalties, so it makes sense that they work in tandem so well together. So yet again, guys, we're gonna be able to Fireball everything, but I'm gonna be able to Fireball the Princess and the Inferno Tower, which is way better value than anything else. So he went in for a log. That means you have nothing for the Electro Spirit, unless you decide to go for a rocket, but you dropped Goblin Gang instead, and that's what we like to see. He completely dropped the game as soon as he dropped the Goblin Gang, and now we can go in for a Fly Machine here. So it looks like we have this game on lock with 40 seconds remaining. All we need to do is go in for a proper defense of the Goblin Barrel here. One more Royal Recruits, Royal Hog spam, and we got the game. Actually, you know what? Let's show you guys how you assert true dominance. Take both towers simultaneously at the same time. The Royal Recruits are still going to lock onto the tower. We're going to force out Elixir there, and he's going to freak out, and then he's like, wait, I have to defend against the Fly Machine. You have to defend against the Fly Machine. It is a sneaky ninja, and he is taking his tower, throwing the shurikens of justice, and this man was not ready for Naruto there. Also, we can go for Zappies off to the side, and you guys notice how it's going to be able to stun all of the goblins. There's 2 goblins on the outside corner, both locked onto the Zappies instead, and then he only ended up having 1 Zappy or 1 goblin connecting to the tower, and that's not going to do that much damage. Let's go jump right on the next game. These decks are incredibly strong. And it's no surprise that the second best deck in Clash Royale is this Miner Wallbreaker Cycle deck. Every single pro player seems to be playing it right now, and for good reason. When played perfectly, this deck is unstoppable. Its fast cycle allows you to defend any push while applying aggression at the exact same time with your Miner Wallbreakers. You can finish off games really quickly with your fast cycle of Miner, Fireball, and Log as soon as you get a couple Wallbreakers to connect. So let's go jump straight some games and assert some dominance. All right, guys, we got a game here. We're gonna sauce out a good luck, and we are off to the races right out of the gate. As you guys know, this deck is very, very fast. So we're going to go in for Miner and Bats, and then we're going to immediately follow with Wallbreakers on the left-hand side and force out Elixir in every single lane. So as you guys can see, if you go for Miner plus Bats, your opponent's going to have to Tornado the Bats, and they won't be able to activate King Tower with the Miner. It's very annoying for them because you throw so many things at them, and it's really hard for them to make the appropriate decisions, even if they have the spells to counter it. This guy's going to have Ice Wizard, so he's probably going to have a good matchup, but he's going to get destroyed if he messes up once. We just need 1 Wallbreaker connection, and then we'll walk away with the W. Remember, his Tornado is not going to be back in cycle, so we can go for a Miner Ken in the back, and we're like, yeah, we caught you. You are out-cycled. You're going to have to go for another Ice Wizard, a Dark Prince, and you have a Goblin Giant deck. So you guys remember this, right? This is one of the decks that I played earlier on. It is super, super strong in double elixir, so we do not want to let him get there. In single elixir, we're trying to get a massive matchup advantage and then work away with the W after that. We're going to go for Spear Goblins to go and kite that to the opposite lane, and then yet again, we follow up with a Knight, we go in for a Miner, and we go in for Wallbreakers, because we out-cycle everything that he holds dear in life. Wait, what? Come on, man. You gotta be joking right now. You had everything that looked like it was the same deck, and then you bring out the Fireball. Wow, so he was really catching me there. He caught me off guard. I'm gonna go for Spear Goblins, maybe even going for a Knight, but at this point, we're in a pristine damage lead. Spear Goblins are gonna give us value, bait out either an Ice Wizard or a Dark Prince or something. We get the Ice Wizard. So maybe it's not gonna be the Electro Giant deck that I thought it would be. Usually they have Electro Giant. But he could have Royal Giant, he could have a weirder Electro Giant deck with Fireball instead. Maybe he lost against so many Royal Hogs decks that he's like, never again. But you can still beat Royal Hogs if you play well enough. Maybe he doesn't know that. So we're going to go in for a Miner, and we're going to go in for Wallbreakers in the left-hand lane because he just uses Dark Prince. We're going to force out Elixir on the opposite side. He's going to go in for a Goblin Cage. Goblin Cage is one of the best answers every single time that we go in for Wallbreakers, but if we play well enough, I feel like we're not going to have that many issues still. So we're going to go in for our Bomb Tower in the appropriate timing because he has Fireball. it's going to be way harder for him to break through. That is one good thing. I'm going to go in for another miner here, and I'm going to go in for our Wallbreakers again. Just consistently spamming them because we know that we outcycle his Goblin Cage. We get a Bar Barrel and we get a Tornado out of him. We limit the amount of Elixir he has. We can go for Spear Goblins. We can go for Knights. And we can shut this all down with the Juicy Bats connection. So the best thing about this deck is if your opponent feels like they can break through the Bats and Knight, you're going to be like, wait, dude, you realize that I can just cycle back to another one, right? That's how it works. So it goes in for the Goblin Cage Brawler there, and then we can go for Wallbreakers. So I don't think that we're... Oh, actually, both those are going to connect. Never mind. That's insane. So we force out a Tornado. We can go for Bats, and he goes Electro Giant. Does he not know that he can't do that? It's not possible to do that, bro. The Bats and the Knight are both going to lock onto the tower. If you think that you can have any breathing room, you are never going to have that, brother. So I'm going to go in for a Fireball so then we knock away that Baby Dragon so we don't have to respond. We can log on top of the Dark Prince, and then we follow up with another Knight. So the reason that we go for the Knight is just to make sure that we don't take damage from the Dark Prince on top of the Bomb Tower. So what else are you going to do, man? You're probably going to spam more stuff at the river. I can believe it. So we're going to Miner, and we're going to go in for more spam off to the side. If the Miner connects or the Wallbreakers connect, we win the game. So that's all we're looking for there. If you go in for Baby Dragon spam, you are down so much Elixir at this point. So you need to break through with units. You are spamming an Ice Wizard at the river. If that doesn't scream desperation, I don't know what does. So we're going to go for Wallbreakers again just to force out more Elixir. We just need one of them to connect. Or we just, yo, dude, you're just going to give me the connection. I'll take it. I was going to say, or we go for a Miner and Fireball and walk away with the win that way. But GG and well played. I feel like in Clash Royale, if you don't switch up the decks and play things that are different, are you really having fun? It's hard to play the same deck all the time. And finally, the best deck in Clash Royale has to be this Royale Giant Giant Skeleton deck. There is nothing more annoying than playing against a Giant Skeleton that is protecting a Royale Giant. When the Giant Skeleton explodes, it destroys anything that's trying to defend the Royale Giant, and then the Royale Giant gets a free tower. Also, you can defend anything that your opponent throws at you because you got Hunter and Zappies. Your opponent can't Fireball both, and you have easy King Tower activations with the Fisherman. So let's go jump right into a game and show you guys why this is the best deck in Clash Royale right now. I can finally show the best deck in Clash Royale. So I'm going to go for an Electro Spirit, and no shame, guys. He can try to activate King Tower, but it's not going to work out for him because guess what? If you do that, then I have Royale Giant, and it's so funny when opponents think that they can get away with the King Tower activation. They get so happy, they get excited, and then they realize that it was all for nothing. Wasted Elixir. So this guy was a little bit smarter. He drops it in front. He's like, I'm not going to actually allow you to get any tower damage there, but he also Fireballed, so he's down a lot of Elixir now. He went for Inferno Dragon. He went for Fireball. Can he do anything else that's going to allow us to get a ton of value? Yes, he's going to go for a Minion Horde and a Baby Dragon. So if you Hunter in the middle like this, it's going to kill all the Minion Horde, and it's also going to force out more Elixir. So we're going to go in for a Fisherman and Electro Spirit to reset. The Electro Spirit is so much better than the Ice Spirit because it resets and it also chains on to everything. So if he went for a Minion Horde like he did earlier, and the Minion Horde was still alive, it would chain onto all that and clean it up easy snack. So he's going to have arrows, he's going to have Baby Dragon, and Minion Horde. So he's going to have a lot of air cards. I don't really know what this is, but if you can't realize it... Okay, so it's going to be a Lava Hound deck. I usually will have issues against Lava Hound players if they have Barbarians, because you have Earthquake. This is the only difficult matchup, but it's still not a hard counter. It's a counter, but no deck actually hard counters ours. So that's one of the best things about us, is this deck is just unbeatable if you play it perfectly. I'm going to go in for a Hunter here. I don't know if the Giant Skeleton is going to encroach on our opponent's territory. We do bait out an Inferno Dragon. He was so scared to the point that he had to go for an Inferno Dragon even though we didn't break through. And that's the best thing with Giant Skeleton. It's notorious to face. Your opponent sees it and they're like, no, no, if that thing reaches my tower, I lose the game. So every single time they're going to overspend to defend it. And then if they overspend, it just dies and it cleans up whatever they defend with. It's kind of broken. So Royale Giant locks onto the tower. He's going to arrow, but the Royale Giant is clobbering him right now. So if you don't have Barbarians, you're absolutely toast. Barbarians are the only decent matchup that your opponent could possibly have against this deck. Because we have Earthquake, if you have a building, it's comical. We just go in for an Earthquake instead of Lightning. We can drop it in single Elixir, and we can break through anything. So yet again, guys, we've pretty much won this game already. 34 seconds remaining. All we need to do is hold the door. But I'm not about that life. I like asserting dominance. I'm going to go in the opposite lane already. I'm going to go in for a Royale Giant there. Follow up with my Zappies. And it looks like he's trying valiantly to throw a balloon, a Lava Hound, arrows, Inferno Dragon at me. As you guys saw, I didn't even blink into my eyes. I didn't even flinch there. I knew I was going to be able to defend. It's just that easy with this deck. As long as your opponent doesn't have barbarians, there's no way that they'll ever get juicy enough elixir trades to put a nice offensive presence on you. So GG and well played. This deck was in our hands, and there was no way that he could pull the victory out of our grasp. And that's actually where we're going to end today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, make sure to let me know by tossing out a fat thumbs up on the video. And if you're new here, consider subscribing for more content just like this. Thanks for watching, thanks for chilling with me, and I'll see you guys in the next video.